Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We got another what's sold video for you here today. And so we didn't have a huge week really. The last video I talked about, I said things were kind of really on the upswing, and they were for sure. Had a couple of good weeks in a row that were like within a couple dollars of each other. I did see a little bit of a downswing this last week that I'm going to talk about, which is August 18th to 24th, but had a couple of good sales in there and had a good margin, so really can't complain. In fairness, I wasn't doing as much probably as I could have to promote sales, although I did make a few sales from having offers sent out to likers automatically by using Posh Sidekick, which is great. I know I spam that every video, but hey, I'm going to, because anytime I can make sales and not have to do anything, and it just does it for me, that's great. And actually, I did do a live show last night, like a silent show that I set up through Posh Sidekick as well, and I made a couple of sales. So I won't talk about those in this video, but that is my my plug for this week, to talk about that automation tool. And now let's get on and talk about the sales from August 18th to 24th. In total, we did $560. Well, $559.98, which is down, about $300 from the previous 2 weeks totals, but the profit margin was 62.4%. So I did have $350 worth of profit, in that week, which is great, especially since I had to go and replace my front brake pads and rotors yesterday, which was like $470 after taxes or something like that. So yeah, we pay 15% tax here in Nova Scotia, so of course that's applied on top of the labor and the parts as well. So yeah, that was fun. But I mean, hey, I could look at it that 3/4 of that was covered by my profits from last week, so always nice. Anyway, let's get into what's sold. It's not a lot of items, it's just 16 items in total. We got these Torrid Bombshell Skinny Purple Pants. I would have paid $7.88 for these. They sold on Poshmark for $22, so that's a $9.72 profit. A couple of these Patagonia R1 jackets. I've talked about these before, and these were my sale of the week on the podcast last week. This was the Patagonia R1 jacket in a dark gray. I would have paid $7.48 for this. It sold for $41 on Poshmark, so that's a $25.32 profit. And then a light gray version that sold on eBay, I got a little bit less. This was $30 plus shipping, so I made $17.05 in profit. I know I've talked about these couple of items in that last video as well, but I'm just skimming over them pretty quick here. This Torrid Purple Stretch Tank, $5.46 buy cost. It sold for $19. I ended up making $8.25. This Bogner jacket, I paid $8.64. It sold for $45 on Poshmark. That's a $27.36 profit. This WWE Survivor Series t-shirt, this was new in a men's small. I paid $5.46. It sold for $20 on Poshmark, so that's a $10.54 profit. These McRae military boots in a small size, a 6.5 men's. These sold for $27. I paid $6.33 for these. Sold on Poshmark, so I made $15.27. Now this Torrid leopard print fuzzy cardigan, this was kind of cool. Just a very unique piece. I would have paid $7.78 for this. Actually, I don't know why I've got $7.78 in there. I think that's a misprint. That should have been $7.48, because that's what sweaters come to after taxes at my local spot. So in any case, it sold for $24 on Poshmark. That's an $11.72 profit. This Free People red satin dress, I've had this for a lot longer than I assumed I would, so I took a little bit of a better offer on it, or actually I lowered the price, and then Posh Sidekick sent out offers to likers as well when someone else liked it. Would have paid $8.91 for it. That's the dress price after taxes at my local store. It sold for $22. By the time the 20% fee and then the discounted shipping came out, I did only make $6.06 on that one. Same person bought a couple of J. Jill things. This first one is a gray open cardigan. Would have paid $7.48 for this, and it sold for $24 on Poshmark with the discounted shipping, so an $8.84 profit. This one here was a J. Jill striped half button shirt, and I paid $6.33 for this. It also sold for $24. No discounted shipping on this one. I just bought this one outright, so that's a $12.87 profit on that one. Now we've got this new with tags Lane Bryant black blazer, and I paid $8.64 for it. Lane Bryant isn't going to get you rich by any means. It's over $31, and it's a $9.03 on the fees because there was discounted shipping on there as well. So I did only make $13.33 in net profit after all costs and expenses, but hey, I mean, it wasn't that long of a wait on that sale. So all right, these new with tags J. Crew Marty pants. These are a women's pant that have like a little side zip along the hip there. These sold rather quickly, within probably a month and a half. I paid $7.88 for these, and they sold for my full asking price on eBay of $44.99. Buyer paid $9.82 in shipping, which is exactly what it cost. So overall, my profit on that after fees and cost of goods was $28.30. Now I've got this J. Jill linen blend open blue cardigan. I would have paid $7.48 for it. It sold on Poshmark for $36. No discounted shipping on that, so $21.32 in profit. These new with tags 511 Tactical women's EMS pants. Paid $7.88 for these. I've had them for a little while. 511 Tactical does not sell for what it used to. It definitely doesn't hold the same value that it used to. Women's stuff especially, I find, is a very slow sale. I probably would not pick these up if they weren't new with tags. But I paid $7.88 for them. They sold for $29.99. The buyer actually had to pay $26.97 for shipping because they lived in a rural northern part of British Columbia, like quite a bit north. And there was no cheaper way for me to get these to them. It may have fit in a small flat rate box through Canada Post, but that still would have been like 23 something or 24 something to ship, so it wasn't worth it. I just bought the label through eBay, paid exactly what the buyer paid in shipping. So altogether I made $13.50 in profit. Then the last sale, which is a great sale, this was Ocarina of Time for N64. This one was complete in box with the manual and the cartridge. And yeah, so the manual was a little bit rough. You know, the box wasn't great. Typically, I know it's been selling a little bit lower lately on eBay, but typically the price charting value, which, you know, kind of takes a good account of what it's selling for online, has been putting this at about $150, $160, but due to condition and knowing it was on Facebook Marketplace, so I didn't have to pay any fees, I let it go for $120. My cost on this way back in the day when I started collecting was actually really good. It was only like $50 because there was a mix-up. I bought it online. There was a mix-up. Somebody made up for it and sent me like the box and the manual for free essentially, so that was cool. Yeah, so $120, that was all profit, of course, because I'm not counting my original buy cost. This has lived in my collection for, you know, 3 years or so, that money is gone. So yeah, altogether, 18 items, 4 on eBay, 11 on Poshmark, and 1 on Facebook. Note that there were 0 sales in the booth this week. I am recording this on a Thursday, so this upcoming Saturday and Sunday is the last week of the booth for me, and I do not think I'm going to pay to renew for another month. I just don't think it's worth it at all. I'm sitting there sometimes for hours on end and not making sales. Yes, I've made some decent sales so far, and you know, I've sold some video games, but that's at already discounted prices. I could have probably put those up on eBay, gotten the same amount, and not had to, you know, mess around with the booth. So that's basically where my head's at with that. So yeah, there we go though. $559.98, so $560 in sales for $349 in profit, 62.4% margin. Can't complain. I will say a little sneak peek for this week, which is August 24th or August 25th to 31st. We are well ahead of this number. It's our best week so far since early June. And it's because I've put some of these video game items online and have sold a few on eBay. So it's Thursday and we're already outpacing that first week of June. This could end up being, if I make another couple of good sales, this could end up being one of the best weeks of the year so far in 2024. But I will keep you posted. So anyways, that's it, guys. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.